Oh man. Green, green, green. You got to make it green. It's your home, it's your dream. It's your dream. Radon tested, living healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green. Green, green, green.
Making it green is making sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN. Preserve your family's health and well-being. Get your home tested. That's living healthy and green.
Make it green. Green, green, green. Make it green. It's your home, it's your dream. It's your dream.
Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN.
A message from the U.S. EPA.
Here's farmer and landowner John Prue.
We purchased the land about 3 years ago, and there was an old farmstead on there with trees. We were going to clear the land so we could farm through it. We thought we knew where the pipe was, so we didn't call to get it located. The work on our property led to the damage of a light crude pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety Campaign.
Fire threatens everything in its path. When it threatens our nation and our communities, we respond. We bring the fight to the front line. The Army National Guard stands ready to face the dangers of Mother Nature and protect our homes and our neighbors. We will always be there when your community needs us the most. Discover more about all the ways you can serve part-time in your community by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Alabama's companies know people need to feel safe at work. That's why Alabama Works has partnered with agencies across the state to provide access to everything from CDC guidelines to the latest in on-the-job safety innovations. At alabamaworks.com, you're one click away from what you need to know to get to work safely. Work safe, be safe. Your new success story is at alabamaworks.com.
Sponsored by Alabama Works, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Alabama veterans. Are you aware that because of your military service you may have earned VA benefits? The Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs can help you access those benefits at no cost to you, even during COVID-19 when other resources might be hard to find. The Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs has an office near you. For more information, go to va.alabama.gov or give us a call at 334-242-5077. We're open and ready to serve you. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs, the ABA, and this station.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM, Auburn's premier home for student-run radio since 1971. I'm your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside my colorman, Davis Carroll. We'd like to welcome in our listeners and viewers from across the Auburn-Opelika Megaplex and around the world, however you may be tuning in today, whether that be from your terrestrial radio antenna, listening on WEGLFM.com, or tuning in after the fact on transistor.fm, watching us on Eagle Eye TV, or listening to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We are, of course, Auburn's only student-run drive time morning show, and as always, we are broadcasting live from the Bradley Basin WEGL studios here in the Harold Melton Student Center on the campus of Auburn University, where it is a lovely 54 degrees and sunny outside this Wednesday morning. Welcoming you into Compact Discourse once again. Davis, how are you feeling about today.
Feeling pretty good. Went 1-0 yesterday for intramurals.
Oh, is that so?
By technicality, it was a forfeit, but hey, we got 4 sportsmanship points for showing up.
Okay, good deal.
Boom, 1-0.
So, intramural team already off to a fabulous start as they open the season with a 1-0 record and 4 sportsmanship points. That's awesome.
Boom. Out of 4.
Wow.
For the record.
At this point, I would like to remind our audience that if at any point in the next 2 hours you feel so inclined to ask a question, drop a hot take, or in the highly unlikely event that we get something wrong, if you would like to correct us, you can go ahead and call in at 334-844-9345. That's 334-844-WEGL. You can also send us a tweet at CDiscAU, that is at CDISCAU, and our dedicated team of call screeners will handle your inquiry. We'd love to hear from you on this Wednesday morning. All right, we'll jump right into things. We'll apologize for the lack of show yesterday. I was feeling a bit under the weather and not fit to come in and host a radio show, but today is different. Today we're going to get on with the show. We have plenty to talk about, some things we missed out on yesterday and some things that transpired last night that we'd love to talk about, including some playoff baseball, as 2 teams were looking for their 3rd win in the American League and the championship series and fell short, as both of these series are now becoming much more competitive after they both look to be like routes after the opening 2 games. So we will jump into that after the first break, but there's still plenty to get to other than that. But first, we're going to do some campus announcements, looking at your This Week at AU. Once again, I'd like to remind everybody that the Let's Talk Money student seminar with financial literary coach Eric Smith is today. That is open to all Auburn students. It is a free seminar. It will be today, Wednesday, October 20th, from 3 to 4 in Melton Student Center, room 2107. That is a seminar on how to tackle student loans, establish credit, manage debt, save money, and maximize resources with a renowned financial literary coach, Eric Smith. Smith has provided financial wellness sessions to more than 125,000 college students, including hundreds of Auburn students and athletes. So once again, that is the Let's Talk Money seminar. It is today, October 20th, from 3 to 4 p.m. in the Melton Student Center, room 2107. All right, campus notices. Applications are open for Spring Break Study Abroad program in Quebec City, Canada. Participants in the Alabama Healthy Marriage and Relationship Education's free relationship education classes can earn money. Today is the last day to register for the CLA Diversity Symposium. GRISE at Auburn applications are open. And the Miller Writing Center will be celebrating National Writing Day on today, October 20th. How about that?
Sounds good.
We also like to notice that the Eagle Eye studio over next door to us has been named in honor of former student and CNN reporter Chloe Matza. So congratulations to Eagle Eye for having their studio named after a student, just like our studio is named after Bradley Basin. We also have dates announced for Auburn University's Theater and Dance staged reading of A Doll's House Part 2. The Beat Bama Food Drive is going to kick off on October 17th. The Black Student Union, excuse me, their assembly is coming up as well. You've also got a few other things, including WEGL stages, Auburn stages rather, is coming up tomorrow evening. We might have Dylan coming in tomorrow to hype that one up. I know he's really excited about that act, but Auburn Stages is going to be tomorrow, the 21st. We've also got UPC is showing A Quiet Place Part 2 tomorrow on the 21st. The International Student Organization Social Hour is to be held on the 22nd. That is Friday. And I think that is going to just about do it for all of your campus announcements. Other than that, the Lyft Late Night Smart Ride program credits are now available. So if you're interested in that, all of this and more can be found in your This Week at Auburn email that you will get if you are an Auburn student. So plenty to look forward to this week, including, Auburn Stages. Auburn Stages is pretty much the best event on campus. It is live music, absolutely free for all Auburn students. And looking ahead at Auburn Stages for this week, we did have to cancel Auburn Stages last week due to a scheduling conflict, and I know they had a lot of fun over at an open mic night to replace it. But this week we've got Carolay coming up. That is one of Dylan's favorite acts. It is going to be a lot of fun. It is coming up on. It's going to be on the campus green space, so check that one out if you are going to be on campus tomorrow evening. I'm sorry, it's going to be Audiophile with special guest Pacemaker. That is on the campus green. It is an alt-rock band with a hip-hop opener. Both of them are from Birmingham. That is going to be on the campus green starting at 5 p.m. And that's going to be Auburn Stages for this week. So get excited for that. If you're going to be on campus tomorrow, check out that one. And if you are not interested in live music, you can also check out A Quiet Place Part 2. That is going to be at 7 p.m. at Plainsman Park. So if you could probably go to both of those right next to each other, Campus Green and Plainsman Park, 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Got Auburn Stages tomorrow night, the 21st, and then you got A Quiet Place Part 2 at Plainsman Park, put on by UPC. That one is at 7 p.m. So plenty of exciting events coming up on campus this week. So you will be able to be entertained very easily if you are on campus tomorrow evening. Once again, that is Auburn Stages at 5 p.m. on the campus green, and A Quiet Place Part 2, part of Tiger Knights and UPC. That one's going to be at Plainsman Park at 7 p.m. All right, that's going to just about do it for campus announcements for today. So we're going to head to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk playoff baseball, including the Atlanta Braves dropping a game out west to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Red Sox in Fenway looking to take a 3-1 series lead. Fell short as the Astros rallied for a big 8th inning to put the series tied 2-2. So all of that and more when we come back from a break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL.
If you've been working, you've already proven yourself in ways you may not even notice. Managing your time, communicating effectively, and working as part of a team are key skills that employers value. At alabamaworks.com, you can find out how to build on your experience to up your game and get the job you really want, because it's out there. Start your new success story at alabamaworks.com.
Sponsored by Alabama Works, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
They really appreciate what she's done as a sister as well as a soldier and, supporting their country.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join.
Family members that are soldiers in the Army National Guard inspire and influence, setting a path for others.
It's validating knowing that, I kind of did my part to make sure this is what they actually wanted and that they feel the same way I do. I'm really proud that we get to help shape the future, and I know that my sisters are going to be amazing soldiers.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share in.
A lot of pride, and they're just out there doing something every day and then serving their country as well.
I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture.
Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Watch out for people riding bikes. It's not just courteous. Now it's the law. The new 3 Feet for Safety Act requires that drivers give at least 3 feet of space when passing bicyclists. More and more people are commuting and touring Alabama on bicycles. As the number of cyclists on our roads increases, so does the need for safe driving. So slow down and give cyclists 3 feet of room. Follow the rules of the road and watch out for each other. Learn more at drivesafealabama.org. Sponsored by ALDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. and WEGLFM.com. I'm your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Davis Carroll on a Wednesday morning. We're going to be talking about some playoff baseball for the next segment or two. We'll start off with the first game that happened last night, and that was the National League Championship Series, Game 3, with the Atlanta Braves taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Atlanta coming out west with a 2-0 lead, looking to take a stranglehold over the Dodgers, and came up short in that one as Atlanta led for a majority of this game, but the lead was quickly lost in the 8th inning as Cody Bellinger knocked a 3-run home run, and Mookie Betts scored another to make it a 6-5 Braves deficit that they were not able to overcome in the top of the 9th. Luke Jackson gets the loss in this one. He records just 1 out in that 8th inning and gives up 4 earned runs. Gonsolin gets the win. One of, I think, 7? No, much more than 7. One of 9 pitchers used by the Dodgers last night, and Kenley Jansen, of course, gets your save. So that is what happened last night out in Los Angeles. Seager opened up the game with a 2-run home run to make it a 2-run Dodgers lead. Mookie Betts walked to get onto first base, and then Seager launched one to center, 444 feet. But then it was all Braves for the rest of the middle part of the game. Jock Peterson singles to right to score Freddie Freeman and move Austin Riley over to third in the 4th inning. Also in the 4th, Duvall singles to left, scores Riley, and moves Peterson over to second. In that 4th, Swanson also singled over to short. Peterson scores on that one. Darno moves, and Duvall moves on that one. And then in the 4th, the final scoring play for the Braves, Rosario walks, Duvall scores, and Swanson goes to second. Darno goes to third to make it 4-2. In the 5th inning, Duvall singles to score Albies. And then in that 8th inning, after the Braves bullpen looked to be perfect, Luke Jackson comes in and gives up a home run to Cody Bellinger deep to right center field, 400 feet. Smith scores and Pollock scores on that one. The next at-bat, Mookie Betts doubles to right center field, and Chris Taylor scores on that one to make it 6-5. Your best performers on the night for the Atlanta Braves were probably, looks like Freddie Freeman went 3 for 4 after starting off this series pretty cold. He comes out and takes care of the business and contributes to the Braves offense. Dansby Swanson, 2 of 4. Adam Duvall, 2 of 5. And Jock Peterson, 2 of 4, including an RBI. So he improves his postseason average to 364. Does Jock, as he looks to continue the Jocktober streak. And for the Dodgers, the best performance at the plate were Will Smith, 2 of 5. Mookie Betts, 2 of 3 with 2 walks. And Lux, the center fielder for the Dodgers, he draws 2 walks in his performance as well. So that is what happened over in Los Angeles last night. Atlanta issues 7 walks to LA's 6. LA steals 2 bases to Atlanta's 1. LA throws 12 strikeouts to Atlanta's 9, and LA gets 17 total bases to Atlanta's 13. And so the Braves they had their eyes on a 3-0 series lead, now are on their back feet as they look at a 2-1 series lead with 2 more games still left to play in Los Angeles. So where does this leave the Braves right now, Davis?
Okay. So, the fun fact about the Braves, they have not won in Dodger Stadium since June 8th, 2018.
Really?
It says they've also, that was going back to the 2013 NLDS, the Braves have dropped 20 of their last 23 in LA, and they've lost 10 straight to Los Angeles overall. So not looking good for the Braves in Dodger Stadium. But also another fun streak that got broken last night. The Dodgers had lost all 83 previous postseason games in both Los Angeles and even going back to when they were in Brooklyn, 40, 50 years ago, in which they trailed 3 or more runs in the 8th inning or later. So one of those really specific stats, but a pretty significant one that was broken today by Bellinger, who he's starting to really heat up in the playoffs, even though he had a terrible season this year, batting 165 for the year and 240 on base and 94 strikeouts and 315 at bats. Bellinger is really doing good. I think the Braves. I'm still going to favor the Braves in this one. I think they played pretty well, all things considered. Only lost by 1 off a 3-run home run from Bellinger. So I mean, just obviously might not sound too crazy to say, but just limit those home runs. Try to keep them in the park. I think the Braves can easily win this. They can steal the next game if they're playing very that's not the right word. They're playing very good. I can't think of the right word. But then go back to Truist and maybe send it home. I'm gonna still say the Braves for this one.
Yeah, I will agree with you there because the Dodgers have been kind of backed into a corner. They threw everything they had at the Braves last night, and they used 9 pitchers, and their bullpen was looking pretty sparse by the end of the game. So they can't do that in the next. In order to win the series, they would have to win 3 more games, and I don't think you can use that. You can't use your bullpen the same way they did last night in 3 more games. You just won't have the energy for it, or any gas left in the tank. So I think either something's going to have to change dramatically for the Dodgers. They're going to have a really good performance by their starters, or I think that the Braves are going to have a time kind of dealing with their bullpen because, like I said, they used a different pitcher in almost every inning last night. So it was an unsustainable kind of. You had Buehler go 3 2/3, but they chased him pretty quickly. After that 4th inning, he had 4 earned runs to his name. So then the carousel started. You had Vezina come in for an out, Knebel come in for an out, Bickford come in for 2 outs, Brule come in for 2 outs, Joe Kelly came in for just an out. Phillips came in for an inning of relief. Gonsolin came in for 1 out, and then Kenley Jansen, your closer, he came in for 3 outs. So you can't use 9 pitchers every game and expect to win a series unless you're scoring 10 runs a game, which this has been a very low-scoring series so far. And I don't think it's a sustainable level of operation for the Dodgers in this one.
So who was on the mound when Bellinger hit it?
Luke Jackson.
Okay. I don't know much about Luke Jackson, so I'm not going to speak on him too much. But I will say the Braves really got a lot of their points just in general from just solid hits, solid singles, doubles to get them around. And the Dodgers really only scored because they hit 2 home runs in the game. And they say 1 home run won't kill you, like a 1-run home run won't kill you.
Yeah.
But obviously 2 home runs totaling 5 runs scored will kill you. So, I mean, like, I'm not sure what type of pitcher Luke Jackson is, but I feel like if you have people on base and Bellinger coming up who you know has the potential to do that, maybe get like a ground ball pitcher in there or someone that's not going to, less likely to have that happen. But I guess if they're going through their bullpen so quick, they might not have the option for that. The Braves, that is.
That's true, yeah, and I think what the Braves need to do is just not rest on their laurels, but realize that they have the series lead and they don't have to go out and attack. They can kind of play defense, but at the same time, they have to remain aggressive because they know. I think this team knows better than any other team how easy it is to let a 3-1 lead slip away from you, and that is, if they win tonight, they will be in that exact same position they were in just a year ago when they faced the Dodgers in the NLCS and lost Game 3. Won Game 4, and then proceeded to drop the next 3 to let the Dodgers into the World Series. So the biggest thing for Snitker and the Braves is going to be to have just a short memory. You want to remember that this isn't a given. Remember last year, but forget about games 1, 2, and 3 because they don't matter anymore, and you can't let what transpired in those first 3 contests dictate what's going to happen in this contest. So it's going to be interesting to see which performers from the Braves step up and take on the challenge, considering you had Freddie Freeman, who was ice cold in the first 2 games of this series. I think he was 0 for 8 with 7 strikeouts. He broke out of the slump, going 3 for 4 with a walk and a run scored here. And then you also have Adam Duvall going 2 for 5, driving in 2 RBIs and scoring another. So every Atlanta batter got on base at least once. So if you can continue that level of success and mitigate the home runs, I think if Luke Jackson keeps that ball from going over the fence, the Braves do pull this one out. Maybe it's 5-4, but you can't give up 3-run home runs and expect to come out victorious in a National League playoff series. Maybe in the American League where scoring is quick and easy, but I think if you're gonna maintain a level of success that is playoff worthy, you got to keep the home runs down to single shots.
Exactly. Are you feeling confident about the Braves overall in this series still?
It's hard for me to be confident in the Braves after last season, and after last night. Honestly, I really would have liked to see them win that game last night. Considering how well the bullpen was pitching, Minter came out and was perfect. He had 1 hit. He had 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. The Dodgers put a lot of people on base last night, and the fact that the Braves were able to keep them to just that opening home run till the 8th inning was pretty much entirely based off of the work of the bullpen and the good defense. Charlie Morton, while he went 5, did not have a very impressive stat line. He walked 6 batters, had 5 strikeouts, and gave up 3 hits. So the Braves, the bases were pretty crowded throughout the entire game. The Dodgers just weren't able to break through until that 8th inning. So that makes me a bit nervous moving forward. But it seems like the Braves won't get another opportunity as good as this one for some time unless they manufacture it themselves. So I would have liked the Braves to capitalize on all the mistakes the Dodgers were making last night, but it was all for naught as they had up to a 93% chance to win until that 3-run home run really turned the tide of things. So we're going to head to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Astros and the Red Sox as they continue to battle up in Fenway for one more game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more Compact Discourse.
Your career isn't a job, it's a journey. Your next job could lead to bigger things, and you're in charge of how fast and how far you want to go. At alabamaworks.com, you can connect with employers and start working right now. Then chart your path forward with training and career planning tools. But it's only the beginning. Start a great success story at alabamaworks.com.
Sponsored by Alabama Works, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
The Army National Guard is committed to keeping the country safe and our communities secure. Composed of hundreds of thousands of citizen soldiers from all walks of life and in every corner of America, the Guard is always ready to respond to local or national emergencies. The Army National Guard reacts to domestic operations in each of America's 54 states and territories, including Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Guam, and the District of Columbia. Each state National Guard's unique domestic role is to act as the first line of defense in support of civil authorities in their state. The Guard's emergency responses include search and rescue missions for floods, combating wildfires, hurricane and tornado recovery, and the presidential inauguration. The Army National Guard. We are always ready. We are always there. And in every state and territory, we stand guard for our communities. To learn more, log on to nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
COVID-19 changed everything, and good information has never been more important. There are jobs available right now Get the facts about what it takes to get one and how you can take action. Use your time to get prepared for the job you need and the career you want. We'll all get through this with information and resources to be ready for what comes next. Your success story is our success story. Get started at alabamaworks.com.
91.1 WEGL FM, Auburn University.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM, WEGLFM.com, and however you may be joining us today. Thank you for spending your Wednesday morning with us here on the Big 91, that is WEGL 91.1 FM. Got an exciting lineup of shows for you today here on WEGL. After we get out of here today, we should have DJ P DJing the Rock Block from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon. So 2 hours of rock music coming up after Compact Discourse today. We've also got from noon to 1 some local music, and from 1 to 5 we got some folk music, folk and country coming up during the middle of the day. At 5 p.m. we start off our WEGL Wednesday block of shows with 1 more hour with Aaron. Then at 6, you got Happy Days with Jay with Jalen Russell. That's at 6. And then at 7, you got the Woodstock Hour. Turn back the clock with some real deal classic rock with DJ P. That's at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then at 8 p.m., you got Cheetah Print with DJ CD and Smackwater Jack. That one's coming up at 8 p.m. right after Woodstock Hour gets over with. Then from 9 to 11 p.m., you got the rap block is coming on right after Cheetah Print. So just keep the dial right here on 91.1 all day long for great music, talk, and more. We got some great music today, though. That's 1 more hour. Happy Days with Jay, Woodstock Hour, and Cheetah Print all starting at they start at 5 p.m. all the way through 9 p.m. And I think we got DJ P coming on later on in today's show. So get excited for that. You want to call in with a request for what you want to hear during the rock music hour or later on today on Woodstock Hour, just give us a call or send his social medias a message, and I'm sure he'd be happy to accommodate any requests you may have. All right, looking at your weather report for today, right now it is 58 degrees and sunny, no chance of rain. We're going to get up to 79 degrees is your high today with a low of 62, so the heat's coming back just a little bit after a chilly weekend. We've also got a afternoon temp of 77 degrees, partly cloudy. And then this evening, it's going to cool off to 64, overnight temp of 63 with a 35% chance of rain. So the rain shall be returning tonight with a 35% chance of rain here in Auburn, Alabama. The sun is going to set at 6:03 p.m., so plan accordingly. UV index is at 1, and of course, it's a full moon. So get excited for that. There should be plenty of light to walk around with tonight as the moon is indeed full. I saw it last night. It was pretty cool.
It looked quite nice under the lights of the intramural field, I will say. It was very, very vibrant. I'm a big fan of full moons.
Full moons are nice, especially in October. It's I like how the clouds look, you know.
Chris made a claim last night about full moons that I'm very interested to look into. He said that his mom told him, she used to work at a daycare, I think he told me, and she said on nights where there were full moons, that day the kids were always the craziest. Which I don't see a correlation. But Chris was like, the gravity of the moon pulling makes them a little crazier. Which I'm sure he was joking. But maybe he's not. Maybe that's what it is. Think there's any science behind that? It's like a werewolf evolutionary trait we have where we act crazy on full moons. Maybe that's where werewolves came from.
I'm seeing that kids sleep a little less during a full moon, but only by a few minutes.
That's kind of... Is that enough to really count?
The idea that the moon has an effect on people's behavior goes back to ancient times, but studies have found little evidence to back up this idea.
I'm sure there's some that's where the idea of a werewolves came from. So people started acting crazy on full moons. They're like, this guy's a wolf.
Because they're sleeping less.
Hmm.
I act a little crazy when I don't have enough sleep.
Do you act crazy during certain cycles of the moon? If you saw a harvest moon, would you go crazy?
No.
A blue moon?
That's not something you can see.
What? I thought it looks a little blue. I've never seen one.
No, a blue moon is just a full moon that happens twice in one calendar month.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So if there's like a full moon on the 1st, then like the full moon that happens on the 30th would be a blue moon.
Oh, okay. So how many different like moon different moon types? There's blood moon, harvest moon. What's the one where it's really bright? Like really bright?
The super moon.
Super moon. Yeah.
It is the super moon.
Yeah.
JP brings up a good point that there's a neon moon.
Yeah, song. I'm not convinced that's a real thing.
According to NASA and this website for children, there's a blood moon, a super moon, a blue moon, and a harvest moon.
Oh, so we got them all. Well, there you go.
Yeah, got them all.
Do you know how those happen? Because I don't.
Well,
and I'm curious to learn.
Oh, well,
the kids' website.
The kids' website may be a valuable resource. The NASA.gov. One meaning of a blood moon is based on its red glow. The blood moon occurs during a total lunar eclipse. During a total lunar eclipse, the Earth lines up with the moon and the sun. This hides the moon from the sunlight. When this happens, the only light that reaches the moon's surface is from the edges of the Earth's atmosphere. The air molecules from the atmosphere scatter out most of the blue light, and the remaining light reflects onto the moon's surface with a red glow, making the moon appear red in the night sky.
Interesting.
Now, a supermoon appears to be larger than usual moon in our night sky. Supermoon looks larger just because it's a bit closer to Earth. Supermoon is actually just a nickname for what astronomers call a perigean full moon, a moon that is full and at its closest point in orbit around Earth.
That's my favorite type.
A blue moon, they are talking about something rare. A blue moon is not blue in color. In fact, a blue moon does not look any different than a regular monthly full moon. Rather, a blue moon is special because it is the quote-unquote extra moon in a season with 4 full moons. This only happens every 2.5 years. Since the 1940s, the term blue moon has also been used for the second full moon in a calendar month. This usually happens only once every 2.5 years. So that's why people say once in a blue moon to mean something rare.
Okay.
All right, and then lastly, we have a harvest moon. A harvest moon refers to the full, bright moon that occurs to the start of the autumn season. The name dates from the time before electricity when farmers depended on the moon's light to harvest their crops late into the night. The moon's light was particularly important during fall when harvests are the largest. So I think any bright full moon in autumn is a harvest moon.
Okay. Interesting. What do you think ancient people thought of all those different colored moons?
They probably thought it was like a
sign from the gods.
Yeah, because, I mean, looking up at the sky, the moon's what you notice. You know, it's the big thing.
I just read something in ancient Mesopotamia. If you were able to predict an eclipse, you become the proxy king for a time, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, how would you be able to predict an eclipse, though?
I mean, we do it now, but like...
Yeah, we know stuff, though.
They knew stuff back then. Don't count out the people of ancient times. They were pretty smart. That dude in Egypt figured out the curvature of the Earth by sticking a pole in the ground. I'm sure he could have figured out when the moon's going to be dark.
Maybe the guy that, if you can figure out when the eclipse is happening, maybe you do deserve to be the king.
I mean, that means you're pretty smart, but did ancient Mesopotamia had divine right? Probably. Most of them did back then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not caught up on my ancient Mesopotamia historical knowledge, I'm going to be honest with you.
Apparently every month has a unique name for its full moon.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Do you have them all there?
Yeah, I do.
You want to give us any of the highlights?
March is the worm moon.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Because do worms come out or something?
Native Americans called this last full moon of winter the worm moon after the worm trails that would appear in the newly thawed ground. Other names include the chaste moon, the death moon, the crust moon, the sap moon, and the worm moon. June is the strawberry moon.
Interesting.
August is the sturgeon moon.
Like the fish sturgeon?
I think so.
Interesting.
September is, of course, your harvest moon. October is the hunter's moon.
I wonder if it's you can hunt without external lights.
I think that's, the hunter's moon is also particularly bright and long in the sky, giving hunters the opportunity to
Boom.
stalk prey at night. November is the beaver moon, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, and December is, of course, the cold moon.
That one's kind of lame.
Yeah,
that's a lame.
They
name.
fell flat there at the finish line.
The moon's very interesting because there's so many different cultural things about it because everybody.
It's one of the few shared experiences that the world had back before the internet.
That, stars, the sun. I mean, like weather, not all weather though, but like rain, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting to consider.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's the whole like man on the moon. The face. Are you a disciple of the man on the moon? Can you see the face?
I could kind of see the face on Mars. That one's pretty obvious.
I'm talking about the moon.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying I don't really see it. No, to be honest with you. No, yeah. This person's trying to point it out on here. I do not see it. I will say though, if I lived in ancient times, I would definitely think the moon was a god. I'm just gonna shoot straight with you right now. I honestly don't know what else I'd think it was, unless the king of Mesopotamia told me when the eclipse was coming and told me it was a moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it'd be pretty reasonable for people back then to have moon gods.
I'm looking at pictures of the moon. When the moon's up in the sky, I'm pretty sure I could see the man on the moon. But all these like artificial pictures of the moon from different angles, I'm having a hard time seeing it.
I need to bring my telescope back up from home. I'm a big telescope looker. Stargazer.
Stargazer. Can you see stars very well from your home?
No. The light pollution from mobiles really mucked it all up.
Mm-hmm.
The best place to go is like Fairhope, like out on a pier, but even then it's not that good. I want to go to like Arizona or something.
Where you can really see everything?
Yeah. I would cry. I don't know. I wouldn't cry, but that'd be crazy.
You might cry.
I might cry. I love me some stars.
I wouldn't rule out crying.
I will say, if I was offered the chance to go to space, I'd most likely do it. Unless there's like an asterisk. Like I'd have to work at a mining colony where the alien was.
Yeah, you want to avoid the mining colonies where the aliens are.
It's always a mining colony in those movies.
Well, that's all that's up in space.
You ever seen the movie Moon?
No. Is it just called Moon?
Yes, by Sam Rockwell. It's actually directed by David Bowie's son. Not Sam Bowie, it's the basketball player.
Oh.
It's actually really good. He's stuck on a mine colony, and a clone of him shows up. And they have to figure out what's going on. It's really good.
Interesting.
It's pretty indie.
Extraordinary is what
I'd say it's extraordinary.
A mesmerizing mind bender. You don't want to miss it.
I've got that poster on my wall. It has like the optical illusion of the lines around it, makes it look like it's doing different things.
Yep.
Very fun.
That's the one.
I recommend it if you're ever interested.
All right, wreck of the day, Sam Rockwell's Moon.
I love me some Sam Rockwell.
250,000 miles from home. The hardest thing to face
is yourself.
All right. And with that, we're going to conclude Moon Chat, head to a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about that Astros Red Sox game that was played under a full moon, and then we might even welcome DJP into the studio later on. So you aren't going to want to miss it. Keep it right here on WEGL 91.1 FM.
The Delta variant cases of COVID-19 might be more infectious and more transmissible, but there is something we each can do to limit the spread of coronavirus. Wear a mask. Whether it's homemade or manufactured, embellished or plain, wearing a face mask or covering in public, in addition to social distancing and regular hand washing, is one of the easiest ways to protect yourself and others from coronavirus. According to the CDC, wearing a mask is an important part of a layered prevention approach that not only helps to limit cases of COVID-19 infections in communities where vaccination rates are low, but doing so can also limit the emergence of future COVID-19 variants. By wearing a mask or face covering, especially in crowded indoor spaces or busy areas with limited ventilation or poor air quality, you can do your part to keep yourself, your family, and others around you safe. For more information, visit our website at alabamapublichealth.gov. That's alabamapublichealth.gov.
COVID-19 changed everything, and good information has never been more important. There are jobs available right now. Get the facts about what it takes to get one and how you can take action. Use your time to get prepared for the job you need and the career you want. We'll all get through this with information and resources to be ready for what comes next. Your success story is our success story. Get started at alabamaworks.com.
My community means everything to me. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The training and leadership skills I get from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people and look out for my community. If you'd like to learn how you too can serve part-time in the community you love, visit nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
WEGL Auburn.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Davis Carroll. I'd like to remind everybody that you can follow WEGL on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at WEGL_AU. That is the place on the web for all of WEGL's social media. That is, of course, WEGL_AU, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all at the same handle right there. All right, so let's jump right into the American League Championship Series, where the Houston Astros tied the Boston Red Sox last night up in Fenway. So one more game still to be played in Fenway before the series concludes over in Houston, no matter who wins tonight. So we got a pretty hotly contested game, which was quite the surprise after the season, the way that the Astros had been performing in the last two games, getting absolutely shelled by this Boston Red Sox offense. So everything went to plan at the beginning with Bregman homering to left field, 354, which is indeed a home run in Boston. Then we move on to Houston, where Zach Greinke gets chased after just one inning. He walks three batters, has 2 earned runs, and gives up 1 hit to make his postseason ERA about 14. So Bogarts homers off of him to left center field, 4-13 to make it a 2-1 ball game. Rafael Devers was on base to make it a 2-run shot. So Greinke gets chased in that one. And then you have Rayleigh, Javier, Maton, and Graveman all come up for the Astros, and they are perfect. They give up no runs and allow this game to remain remain 2-1 into the 8th inning. So 6 outs away from falling behind 3-1. The Astros are in desperation time, and in the top of the 8th, Jose Altuve is the hero for the Stros. He homers to left field 400 feet to tie the ball game up at 2 apiece. So it looks like it is going to be a 2-2 game heading into the 9th inning when the floodgates open for the Astros and all heck breaks loose in Fenway, and the Astros explode for 7 runs in the top of the 9th inning to make it a 9-2 lead for the Astros, and Boston goes quietly in the bottom of the 9th, and the series is tied 2-2.
I'm not sure how quietly Boston fans will go, because it was the 7 runs scored were off of a bad strike 3 call, or a non-call, that is. It was 1-2, Jason Castro up.
For Eovaldi?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jason Castro, it was 1-2. It looked like a strike, I'll admit, but I mean, refs aren't perfect. Then the next ball thrown, Castro hits a single, and then they just start the route. Finished at 9-2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure Red Sox fans aren't happy about it. I'm sure if Locke and Bay Marks were in here, they would not be very, very happy.
Yeah, Castro gets the party started with a single to center that scores Correa. Then Brantley doubles, Alvarez singles, and Correa reaches on an infield single, and as well as Tucker singling. All of those, just the merry-go-round, circles around. The Astros almost completely bat through their lineup, and they score 7 unanswered runs there in the top of the 9th inning to get a lot of momentum heading back to, to play Game 5, I might add, after getting completely destroyed, if I'm being completely honest with you, in the previous 2 games of this series.
What do you think about the rest of the series for the Astros? Because obviously the Red Sox are red hot. They've hit 3 grand slams in the series and hit 10 homers overall. So I mean, like you're not really slowing down their bats. So
Well,
you better score. You better outscore them.
That's what I would have thought. But then this game comes up and they're held. Much like the Dodgers last night after an early home run in the bottom of the first, they are held quiet for the rest of the game. So I don't know what's going on after they scored so well in the previous 2 games, that being completely silenced is quite a surprise to me. It's difficult for me to wrap my head around how you can go from scoring. Oh goodness, where am I? How you can go from scoring a ton of runs on Monday when they scored 12 to Houston's 3 to being completely, held to 2 runs.
So that either raises the question: were those 2 games flashes in the pan, or was it just an off game and they're going to get back to hitting home runs like they're used to?
Mm-hmm. That I mean, did they score? Let's see. Oh, they scored 9 in Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
And they scored 12 in Game. In Game 2 they scored 9. In Game 3 they scored 12.
Okay, so either way, still a lot.
Yeah, they're swinging the bats well, and that's what they've been doing this entire postseason. That's how were able to beat the Rays so easily. In 4 games was just swinging the bat well, and not having to rely on their pitching, even though Eovaldi was doing very well. So I don't know what to expect. Both of these teams have, completely gassed their bullpens based on how often they've had to go to that well. And let's see, the Astros used 6 pitchers last night, and as did the Red Sox. So towards the end of this series, in both of these series, I think all 4 of these teams are going to have to manage their bullpens a lot more carefully than at the beginning of these series, based on how the offensive performance is moving for both of these teams, both of these series. Looking at it was. We'll just talk about that controversial kind of strike call once again. How much do you think it's going to impact the mentality of the Red Sox through the rest of the series?
I think the Red Sox, as a team are already kind of peeved off because Carlos Correa has kind of been doing his watch tap, which the fans were not a fan of. I know you sent me a video of a fan doing that to Carlos Correa as he's running around, which I'm not 100% sure if that's just like like it's Dame time, like it's Correa time, or if it's like an Apple Watch thing. Because if it's an Apple Watch thing, that's just the pot calling the kettle black, because he's on the Astros.
Especially because Alex Cora is the manager of the Red Sox now.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe it's just more like a Dame or like it's game time thing. But I think it'd be kind of funny if it's a smartwatch thing, since I do like to say that to Red Sox fans.
Eovaldi says they're feeling confident, saying that one of the biggest strengths so far is to be able to turn the page and come in tomorrow with a fresh start. So we will see how that transpires tonight with Game 5, or the final game in Fenway for the series. Game 6 and 7 will be back in Houston on Friday and Saturday. Red Sox are 5-0 after playoff losses under Alex Cora, so that's something to consider.
I don't think the Red Sox team is going to hang up on that strike call too much. I mean, it's just that's baseball. You can't really do much about it at the end of the day unless you get robo-umps, which that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I think the fans are going to be harping on that for the rest of this series, especially if they lose.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to the fans. Actually, you know what? Offense to the fans, because I actually, you know what? I feel like any fan base would probably be doing that.
Houston has scored 36 of its runs this postseason with 2 outs, if you can believe that, including 18 of its 22 in this series. So, Houston not collapsing under pressure as they did not do last night with getting that 2-out rally, really burying the Red Sox and making this series 2-2. So, that is going to just about do it. I'm interested to see where this series goes. I mean, it's looking like it's going to 7 at this point, unless the Astros kind of fall down like they did in games 2 and 3. The Red Sox looked like, regular season Red Sox during the game last night. They did not look like the world beaters that they've looked like so far in the postseason. So, whatever the Astros did to kind of bring that out in the Red Sox, they need to keep doing if they want to have a chance at this series.
Who do you want to win this series?
Personally, I'd like, depending on who wins the Braves series. If the Dodgers win, I'd like the Red Sox because I think the Red Sox are a better matchup against the Dodgers, and I don't want the Dodgers to win the World Series. But if the Braves win, I think I'd like the Houston Astros just because I don't really care if the Astros beat the Braves in the World Series, like whatever. But I don't like the Red Sox very much, so.
Hey, that's fair.
2 of the Final 4 teams are not really my favorites out of the 30 clubs. So
understandable.
I'll just play the waiting game to see who I get to root for. The Astros aren't exactly likable though. After
oh, definitely not.
After
I do like. Hear me out. I do like Altuve.
I like Altuve.
He is the player that got the least amount of trash can bangs, which could potentially show that he did not want to participate in the cheating.
He did have the buzzer, Davis.
Potentially. Maybe he just didn't want to take off his shirt.
Maybe his wife didn't want him to take off his shirt.
He had a bad tattoo.
That's all. All right, we will talk about all of that and more on the other side of a break. I think we got DJP coming in to join us for the second hour of the show, so you never know what he will bring into the show with him. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with some more Compact Discourse. Second half of the show starts in just a few minutes. You're listening to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm Jack Hart, joined alongside David Carroll. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with some more of the show.
In Alabama, the recycling industry employs nearly 11,000 men and women. Recycling just 10% more would create an additional 1,400 jobs and $66 million in personal income. To learn about recycling opportunities in your area, contact the East Alabama Recycling Partnership. Recycling works in Alabama. Brought to you by the East Alabama Recycling Partnership, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Hi, I'm Harrison Smith. You may know me from my work as Scuba, one of the hosts of the hit award-winning show Nerdcore on WEGL 91.1 FM. But what you may not know about me is that I'm a website enthusiast. That's why I'm here to tell you about WeagleFM.com. It's our hotspot on the web with live broadcast articles and more. It's like a gift that keeps on giving. Tune into your favorite shows at any time with a 24/7 online stream right on the homepage. And don't forget to check out the schedule for our station's full selection of music, sports, and talk shows. For the sports fans, there's articles aplenty covering all of the current events in football, basketball, and beyond. For those music fans, WEGL FM has got you covered. We have album and concert reviews and theme playlists for any mood. We even have live musical performances with WEGL Sessions. There's more than enough content here to keep you procrastinated when you really should be studying for that test. That's right, we know you've been slacking off. Get back to it, lazy. So, no matter what sound you're looking for, we've got it only on WeagleFM.com. That's WEGLFM.com and WEGL 91.1 FM, Auburn.
1 in 5 people in the U.S. have an STD, and many people have no symptoms. Do you know your status? Alabama residents and students attending Alabama colleges and universities can request a free at-home test for chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV, and syphilis to be mailed right to your door. Go to adph.mybinks, that's binxhealth.com. Again, it's mybinkshealth.com. The kit is free and confidential. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Public Health, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, it helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
There are 250 miles of trails in Alabama state parks. That's 250 miles for you to hike, bike, and explore. And it's something we want to share with future generations. Help us improve these trails by becoming a partner in the Alabama State Parks Trail Program. To learn more about the importance of outdoor recreation and how you can help with the development and management of this new trail program, visit alapark.com or call 800-ALAPARK. Sponsored by the Alabama State Parks, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Check out my new time machine.
Does it work?
Hit the button.
Hey, it's Napoleon.
Oui. Check out the future.
Hey, you have a nice house. Why don't I?
You didn't save any money, buddy.
If only there was a way I could go back in time and fix that.
Yeah.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad.
How can we make Alabama a more beautiful state? By keeping our roads, highways, schools, and communities litter-free. It doesn't take much, but to think before you act. So what does the next generation say?
Pick it up, man. Take pride in your school. Did you just litter? Clean it up, dude.
How can you make a difference? Adopt a mile. Join the Alabama Clean Campus program or join in the Spring Cleanup or Alabama Coastal Cleanup. And remember,
Don't drop it on Alabama.
This message by People Against a Littered State, the ABA, ALDOT, and this station.
If you're a single man under the age of 35, you'd probably like to know what the ladies are looking for on an online dating site. A guy who had a few drinks and later got pulled over for buzzed driving. See, that could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And doesn't a guy who's back living with his parents but calls them my roommates just scream Mr. Right?
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would visit brainhealth.gov.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
WEGL.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm your host, Jack Hart, Going alongside Davis Carroll, we've got DJP coming in just a few minutes, so stay tuned for that. We got plenty of great stuff coming up on WEGL today as well. We got great shows, One More Hour at 5, Happy Days with Jay at 6, Woodstock Hour at 7, Sheet of Print at 8. So 4 awesome hours of WEGL content on a WEGL Wednesday for you. We've also got 2 hours of rock music coming up after Compact Discourse today, so keep it right here on 91.1 FM. I think DJP is going to be DJing the rock hour as usual. So we've also got some great local music coming up right at noon. We got some local artists that have put their stuff on WEGL. So if you want to hear from some people who have done WEGL sessions or Auburn stages, all of that's coming up on WEGL at noon. So stay tuned to that. All right, big story out of New York City that I would love to talk about with you, Mr. Davis.
All right.
A statue of Harambe has appeared in New York City, facing the Charging Bull statue and Wall Street, and also 10,000 bananas.
Whoa. I didn't see the 10,000 bananas part.
All right,
Real bananas?
This is coming from Cincinnati.com. So of course, Cincinnati, home of the famous gorilla Harambe. 5 years after his death, Harambe the gorilla has found a new place to be memorialized, New York City. A 7-foot-tall statue of the gorilla, who was killed in 2016 by an emergency response team protecting a 3-year-old boy who fell into his exhibit at the Cincinnati Zoo, has appeared in New York City in the Bowling Green Park in Wall Street opposite the famous Charging Bull statue. According to local reports, the bananas surrounding the bull statue are part of a protest from Sapien Network meant to illustrate how, quote, bananas Wall Street and the wealth disparity in the country has become. So, you heard it here first. 7-foot-tall statue of Harambe has appeared, staring down the Charging Bull, and 10,000 bananas lay at the feet of the Charging Bull statue. They will all be donated to local food banks after the art installation has concluded. But for now, it's Harambe the Bull and 10,000 bananas.
Interesting. I will say, while I do respect what the protest is about, saying has gone bananas as the mainstay of your protest maybe isn't the most effective way to get people on your side. But hey, I'm interested. I'm with them. I hope it goes well for them. But
I think it's gone well already. I mean,
do you think are people on their side for it?
We've got Harambe, we've got bananas, and we're talking about it.
We're talking about it, but are people just gonna be like, "This is so silly"? They don't have a good point, or are they gonna be like, "You know what? They have a good point," and this Harambe statue really makes me think about it.
Well, I mean, saying Wall Street is bananas isn't really an actionable cause, You
just gotta let people think about it. Not everything has to have an actionable cause.
All right, and speaking of bananas, at this point, I would like to welcome Mr. DJP onto the show.
Welcome
DJP,
in.
how are you doing on a Wednesday morning?
I'm doing pretty good. I actually saw the thing about the Harambe statue. So that had nothing to do with like city employees. That was just a protest of people that just put it there.
Yes, Sapien Network is a planned Ethereum-based social media site dedicated to privacy, independent communities, and quality connections between our fellow humans. And they think Wall Street is bananas, and the best way that they thought to communicate that to the world was with 10,000 bananas and a 7-foot-tall statue of Harambe the gorilla.
This is just wild. I don't really have
It's wacky.
Yeah, I don't really know where to go with that. Because, I mean, what's the statue going to do? I mean, other than get people's attention, but
it's got us talking about it.
What's the next step, though?
Just get people talking about it. I doubt they're going to mobilize the Harambe statue as like a robot or anything, but it gets people thinking. They go, hey, maybe Wall Street is bananas.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have like a plaque there to show how bananas they are, like give some numbers for people to really rationalize, but I'll take what I can get.
Nothing gets the people moving like Harambe.
That's true.
That's very true. That's a good take.
Do you have any thoughts on the cultural impact of this gorilla? Just
I'm sure JP does.
Just writ large.
I remember in high school, Davis, I don't know if you ever noticed it around campus, the people that would write "Rip Harambe" or "I miss Harambe" in our high school bathrooms or just random places.
I did. Okay, look.
Campus.
Well, the thing is, I never went to the bathroom at high school. I mean, I obviously did, but like if I could, I avoid it. Like it was a rare day where I'd go to one of the restrooms. The one I'd always go to, I had a class in the library.
You don't need to get.
I'm telling you, the best bathroom at McGill. The bathroom in the library, like there's that little like airlock area when you're going into the library.
Yeah.
Great bathroom.
With the really cold water fountain.
Yes.
Yeah, I know
Great,
exactly what you're talking about.
Great bathroom. It's technically faculty only, but they didn't care for us.
Yeah, I know exactly. That one took me a second to figure out, but I would always fill up my my water bottle after PE right there.
Boom. Townie time.
Townie time, indeed. All right, Jack, how have y'all been doing this morning? I was listening to Moon Chat for a little while.
What's your favorite type of moon?
Yeah, I know.
Any thoughts on the moon or space?
You brought up neon moon, but in terms of our astrological moon, what thoughts do you have on that? What's your moon sign?
Yeah, what was your moon sign? Let's read your horoscope today, JP.
Early January, whatever that one is.
I don't know what it is.
I don't want to give my birthday out.
Okay.
Your moon sign's not even.
Are you
determined by your
Capricorn?
birthday,
You're a
so-
Capricorn.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Candy corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you like the moon?
Yeah, I think the moon's pretty cool.
You
I'm
pro
not gonna
moon?
lie. I heard Davis talking about the light pollution back home, and
Mm-hmm.
at a river house down there, you can get really nice views of like the sky and the stars, especially the moon. And I love whenever is it Jupiter when Jupiter's visible? There's like the giant ring around the moon. You know what I'm talking about? I think that looks like it just looks crazy. It looks phenomenal.
JP, ready for your horoscope today?
Sure.
No, that didn't sound very excited. You're about to learn about yourself today.
You know how I feel about astrology and crystals and all that stuff.
Today, you may be busy at work. Your network may be increased, and with the help of a network, you're likely to get a big order in terms of business and work. You're likely to start innovation and partnership. You may get some investments in your business, which will increase your business in the near future. Your emotional relationship with your spouse will be more improved.
I knew that yesterday.
All right, Jack, what's your what's your sign?
My moon is in Gemini right now.
So are you Gemini then?
No, I'm a Pisces.
That's what I was asking. You're telling me too many things, but you know too much about astrology. Today's blessing may help you, and you may try to improve your patience. Your focus may come back and may help you to achieve your goals. You may perform well in terms of business and economic and domestic life. There may be some balance between expenditures and savings. It may boost your savings. It's a lot of mays.
That sounds very specific to me and not general at all. So I will take that.
Oh, it says Jack Hart at the end of it.
Oh, well,
that's for you.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a small ramekin and fill it up with salt. And every time you tell me my horoscope, I'll just put one piece on my tongue.
Boom.
And I'll take it.
What is a ramekin?
We'll talk about a ramekin on the other side of a quick break. Thank you to DJP for joining us so far in the show today. Plenty to talk about on the other side of the show, including what's coming up on WEGL today, including Woodstock Hour coming up at 7 p.m., DJP on the mic coming up after Compact Discourse, and plenty of things coming up as well, including Music Chat, one of our favorite segments here on Compact Discourse. A lot to get to, so don't go anywhere. 2 minutes, we'll be back with some more Compact Discourse on the other side of this quick PSA break. WEGL 91.1 and WEGLFM.com. You're listening to Auburn's now 4-year-old talk show, Compact Discourse.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Tossing food wrappers and soda cups can be expensive. That $7.99 value meal you threw out the window could cost you $500 in fines. And if you don't learn your lesson the first time, a second fine will cost you $1,000. Put garbage in its place. Throw away your trash, not your cash. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Transportation, Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
You can beat your toughest opponent. You can beat your best time in the mile. You can beat that old largemouth bass. But one thing you should never try and beat is a train. If a train is approaching, don't risk your life trying to beat it, because beating the train is a deadly game. Drive safe, Alabama. Sponsored by ALDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
All across the nation, we are here for our communities.
We're doing our part to get supplies where it's needed in order to fight COVID-19 together.
It feels good to be out there to assist our community.
I would like our friends and family to know that your National Guardsmen are always ready and always there.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
I want that wall-crawling arachnid prosecuted. I want him strung up by his web. I want WEGL Auburn.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Davis Carroll and the one and only DJP on this fine Wednesday morning. Woo! Almost made a mistake there. It is October 20th, 2021. It's 9:18 a.m. And we thank you for spending your Wednesday morning with us here on Auburn's only student-run radio station since 1971. We are the Big 91. We are 91.1 FM WEGL. Welcoming you into the show today. Compact Discourse. We just celebrated our 4-year anniversary of being a show on Monday. Took a little hiatus, but we are back once again. Thank you to Justin Thomason and Jared Dillard for helping me get the show off the ground and continuing to iterate and evolve and make things better to where we got to where we were today. I mean, if it weren't for Jared, we wouldn't be live on YouTube right now, where you can go to WEGL 91 on YouTube. Look for that orange and blue eagle logo, and you can watch us live on video broadcast. You can also watch us whenever you want. Every episode just gets stored up there. So basically, as a podcast, you can watch us whenever you want. So that is, of course, WEGL 91.1 on YouTube. All right, welcome into the show, Davis Carroll and DJP. You guys still making it on this Wednesday morning?
Yeah, I'm making it.
I believe so.
I got some content on board today, or on deck today.
Oh, you got content?
I mean, kind of. Like, I always have something ready to post on Instagram just because I'm on, like, a somewhat of a social media schedule, just kind of to hold myself accountable, to keep myself posting and, like, practice, I guess. I mean, it's not like I'm going to be an influencer or anything, but I want to be somewhat good at what I do just so I have something to showcase if I want to, do this at a professional level. But I've been listening to a lot of good music in the past week. I'm not going to lie.
I'd love to hear about it.
So I finally got into John Prine. I'm still, like, very new to John Prine's music, but I finally, like, had an opportunity, right place, right time. I heard some John Prine songs, and I was like, man, this guy is really good. Been listening to a lot of Sturgill, like always. I heard the Kid Cudi Man on the Moon 1. I gave that album a full listen last week for the first time in forever.
Yeah, speaking of Moon Chat.
Man on the Moon, such a great album. It's just so well put together. Great story, great music, great everything.
What's your favorite song from it? If you had to
That's
choose.
a really hard one to decide. I really like, the first thing that's coming to my head is Soundtrack to My Life.
That's a good one.
Just because the transition from, I think the first one's like In My Dreams, and then the way it transitions is just really cool. So I just really enjoy that.
That's a good choice.
A lot of Krungbin, Disorder by Joy Division.
Joy Division, okay.
Target T-shirt band.
Do you have the shirt?
No, I don't have the shirt. I think Root has the shirt.
Oh, interesting.
The Root Man. I also added, so I have like duplicates of other songs in my like songs. Like I just re-added A Pirate Looks at 40 from a different album, just so I could make sure that I see it and listen to it again. Just because I don't want to like unsave a song because then it takes away
the timeline.
Yeah, got to keep my timeline in order. My continuous, or the music taste continuum is what I like to call my like songs playlist.
Interesting. Sounds like a Christopher Nolan inspired.
What music
taste
taste continuum?
Yeah.
No time for caution.
No time for caution, as well as the radar report, which is pretty much what I've officially named my list of facts, phrases, and euphemisms that I've learned within the past week.
You got any good ones this week?
Yeah. I mean, I think you were in the room whenever I was looking into the word poignant.
Oh, he got it. First try.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been working on that one.
Sounded good. Good pronunciation.
Can you spell poignant, Davis?
Poignant.
Correct.
Way to go.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
I did remember if there was an N after the G or not.
I don't really have a
Almost got
sound
me.
effect for somebody doing something right. All my sound effects are,
Cha-ching!
are negative.
You
so
could probably get, isn't there one of Plankton saying, correct?
I could get that one. I'm just saying I don't have any yet.
Not yet.
I play the Thomas goof if you spell something wrong. That's just a tradition.
Poigant.
Oh, man.
There you go. Just so you could use it.
Just so you could use it.
Thank you, Davis.
Another one I
took one
have?
for the team.
Another word I have is didactic.
Mm.
It's an adjective for something that is intended to teach, more importantly designed to teach a good moral lesson. And I'm going to have to go into a theological term.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't want to get into
can-
a
yeah.
lot of religion. We'll try and keep it secular. But just an example is how Jesus would use anecdotes or parables to teach lessons. That's like a didactic lesson.
Interesting. The mustard seed.
Yeah, that's a prime example right
Boom.
there.
Ba-boom.
A poignant example, if you will.
Ooh.
So that's Davis. What have you been listening to?
What have I been listening to? I was listening to Blonde on the way to class today. Or here, I guess. So some Frank Ocean. I've really been listening to about the same thing as usual. I haven't really listened to anything new. I did re-listen to Big Crit's album Catalactica from 2014. Very good. It's more of a mixtape.
What's your favorite song on Blonde?
So that's a hard one because any day it could probably change. But the ones I go back to most without having listened to the whole album is definitely Godspeed and White Ferrari.
Okay.
I think I like Godspeed more.
Those are two really good ones.
He hits all the notes on that one. Okay, I might have a hot take for you, though. Have you listened to Endless before?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've heard this take before, that you think Endless is better.
I'm not completely convinced because obviously Blonde has the I'm going to take how easy it is to listen to, I guess. I can't think of the word. Accessibility and easeability of listening because it's right on Spotify. You have to jump through hoops to get Endless, but thankfully I do have it on CD. I will say though, Endless, I think the highs of Endless might be higher for Blonde, but Blonde overall is better. Higgs, At Your Best, Rushes and Rushes 2 are some of my favorite Frank Ocean songs. Rushes, Rushes 2, and then Higgs, best 3-song back-to-back that Frank's ever had, in my opinion.
I like Florida a lot.
That's a good one. Alabama's a good one, too.
Yeah. I mean, that whole album is really good.
I hope it comes on Spotify eventually. Am I allowed to play that on the radio if it's technically not on any streaming?
I would not risk it.
Okay, that's fair.
Just so we're safe, I would not risk playing that.
Okay, fair.
I got some news for you, JP.
Yes, sir. Hit me with it.
A Grateful Dead t-shirt from the band's original merchandise was auctioned off for a record-breaking price. The 1967 shirt, sold as part of Sotheby's From the Vault, property of the Grateful Dead and Friends, has sold for $17,640, setting the new world record for the most money spent on a vintage rock shirt.
I mean, if you've got the money for it and you love the band, go for it, but you could not find me spending 17 bands on a t-shirt. No chance.
Not a chance. The previous record was set in 2011 when a vintage Led Zeppelin shirt was sold for $10,000 on eBay.
Okay, see, that's kind of ridiculous because you can buy any Led Zeppelin whatever tour, whatever year for like $30. So I wonder what the significance is. Is this person wearing it if they're spending $10,000 on it, or are they?
I would hope not.
I don't know. I just don't kind of get it. I guess that's like an eccentric thing. Am I using that word properly right there?
It's eccentric, yeah. This Grateful Dead shirt was one of the band's first pieces of official merchandise and was designed by Alan Turk a Hells Angel and graphic artist who was a prominent figure in California's counterculture movement in the 1960s. The winning bidder, Bo Bushnell, operates the Outlaw Archive account on Instagram, which is dedicated to 1960s motorcycle culture.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, that is some news for you. This Grateful Dead shirt, which, you know, if I'm being 100% honest with you, doesn't look that cool. It's yellow, which is already off to a bad start.
That's a vintage one?
That's one of the first pieces of merchandise ever made for the Grateful Dead.
I'd have to see like the style of shirt and like how it fits, and then I could determine. You know, like a shirt's design might not be too well, but like the size, like the width and the depth might be the perfect shirt you've ever seen. You know what I mean?
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm
Also,
a big
like
comfort colors guy, though. I can just throw on one of those any day of the week.
Hey, that's you. I'm not a big. You talking about the brand or the
Yeah.
color? I'm not a big comfort color. I'm not a big fan of the material they use. I'm more a fan of like this material.
Like
the
thrift
cotton.
shirt material.
Feel that? That's not really thrift shirt.
I'm not gonna.
JP's feeling it right now.
Feel the
He's
man's
really
shirt.
feeling it up.
Yes, I will.
Feel the man's shirt.
Okay, that's actually
all right.
pretty soft.
Your
That's
next
not
be the heaviest grown in the country this year. However, it was disqualified from the pumpkin competition due to
steroids?
A crack in the pumpkin.
Oh my goodness.
Mike Schmidt, which doesn't sound like a real name, said he has been growing giant pumpkins for years, but this marks the first time one of his gourds surpassed 2,500 pounds. Schmidt's 20-pound pumpkin is said that the crack is believed to be a result of internal pressure from the pumpkin's large size and the awkward way it was growing. The pumpkin would have earned Schmidt $22,680, enough to buy that Grateful Dead t-shirt from the Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off in California, which offers a $9 per pound prize to the winner. Schmidt now says he is looking forward to the future. Quote, "It happens. There's no crying in pumpkin growing," he told WTMJ TV. "I know I can do it again. We just got to look to the future." So, Mike Schmidt falls just short of the record of pumpkins. The all-time record for a pumpkin grown in the United States was set in 2018 by Steve Geddes of Boscawen, New Hampshire, whose pumpkin tipped the scales at 2,528 pounds.
Oh, my word. How do they get the pumpkin all the way to California without breaking it?
Like a flatbed truck?
How long does it take to grow them that big?
Oversized load trucks, I
mean,
guess?
It can't take more than a year.
Really?
I mean,
there's no...
Hold on.
That's crazy they can grow that much in a year. How do they... What's the difference between those pumpkins and a pumpkin you just get at like a pumpkin patch? If they let those pumpkin patch pumpkins grow, would they get that big?
Well, I mean, I don't think you can grow a pumpkin for more than a year. I think it's a seasonal plant.
Fair.
We're going to do some pumpkin research, and when we come back from a quick break, we'll tell you the details of how this pumpkin managed to get to 2,520 pounds and how a crack disqualified it from the Safeway Pumpkin Weigh-Off in California. All of that and more coming up on some more Compact Discourse. We'll be back in about 2 minutes with some more of the show. I'm Jack Hart, joined alongside Davis Carroll and DJ P. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. WEGL 91.1 FM and WeGLFM.com. You are listening to Compact Discourse.
What's up, Auburn? This is your host, DJ P of the Woodstock Hour, WEGL's longest-running classic rock show. Feel free to tune in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for an hour of peace, love, and music.
Decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org. Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro-synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that.
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right. I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, you know? Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use, like, anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You may have hoodwinked everyone else in this backwater town, but you can't fool me. I listen to public radio. WEGL, Auburn.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Davis Carroll and DJ P. We are jumping right into things, but first we got to give you your WEGL's War Eagle weather report as it is the bottom of the hour. It is 62 degrees and sunny here on the plains today, high of 79, low of 62. Your afternoon temp is going to be 77 degrees and partly cloudy. Tonight is going to cool off to 64 degrees. With a 36% chance of rain. So plan accordingly for that. There is a chance of rain tonight after we've had a relatively dry couple of days. Sunset is at 6:03 p.m. tonight. So plan accordingly if you're out at the park playing football, for instance. The moon is full and the humidity is 80%. So that is your War Eagle weather report for today, October 20th, 2021.
Auburn weather.
And with that, we're going to jump right back into what we were talking about before the break, and that is, of course, big pumpkins. Davis, ever inquisitive, wanted to know how pumpkins can get so big, and I think we have the answer. The Atlantic giant is a species of pumpkin, Cucurbita maxima, which I think is Latin for giant pumpkin. It is the species, not the species that we eat and carve, but it is the species that gets really, really big. People compete every year to produce the largest Atlantic giant pumpkin. One grower in Germany set the record with the world's heaviest in 2016 that tipped the scales at 2,624 pounds. It weighed more than some small cars.
That is a big pumpkin.
That is a big pumpkin. Quite the large gourd.
Pumpkin.
A pumpkin has to transport water, sugar, and other nutrients to swell up the fruit. Yes, a pumpkin is a fruit. Water needs to move up the root. Sugar is produced by photosynthesis, and the leaves need to go down to the fruits and roots. So to do this, the plants use xylem and phloem, if you remember that from your high school class, that transports sugars from the leaves to the fruit and the roots of the pumpkin. Giant pumpkins need a lot of water and sugar, and they need it fast. A typical giant pumpkin grows from a seed to a huge orange squash in only 120 to 160 days. At peak growth, it's putting on 15 kilograms or 33 pounds every day.
Oh my goodness.
That's like daily adding a 2-year-old child to its mass.
What?
All of that.
Well, did you add that, or is that in the article you're reading?
That's in the article.
That's a crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy measurement they added.
All they could think of that weighed 33 pounds was a 2-year-old kid. And all that mass must move through the stem. Most of the time, the stem is so narrow that you can still easily get your hands around it. To study how pumpkin stem transports so much food and water, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Okay. To grow a massive pumpkin, farmers will only let one pumpkin on each plant reach the full size. So you want all the nutrients that get sucked up.
Like culling off the other ones?
Yeah, all the nutrients that get sucked up. That's how they kind of trick the plant into growing just one. So that is how the pumpkins get big.
Interesting.
And they have to grow wider and not taller, otherwise they sag, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So giant pumpkins get flatter and flatter as they expand in size. Gravity just weighs them down. They're elastic, they're springy, but as they get bigger and heavier, the spring isn't strong enough, so pumpkins end up squashed under their own weight. As if they grow large enough, they will even grow a small arch underneath. It's like a little dome in the middle.
How tall are these 25,000 or 2,500?
They're more wide than tall.
Yeah.
This picture has like a little girl next to it, and it's like the girl's taller than the pumpkin.
That's not as big as I thought it was going to
But
be.
pumpkins
But
are
that's
like
still a large
pumpkins
gourd.
are like dense, you know.
Yeah. You want to
So-
hear something though?
Go ahead.
I know this is completely unrelated, but I meant to mention it when I walked in. You know how there's the Brit soundbite in the student center?
Yeah.
When I walked in, I heard the windows like plugging in a flash drive noise. It was so loud throughout the whole building.
Wonder what they were plugging in.
I have no idea, but it was full volume, and I just heard it, and I was like,
Heck yeah.
And Davis, I
completely
think
threw
you
me
have
off
the
guard.
rules of the pumpkin weigh off.
I do. For the official, I got to read it real quick. World Championship Pumpkin Weigh Off at Half Moon Bay, October 11th. So, the official rules here. Obviously, most of them are pretty obvious. The person that grew it, is that right?
Has grown it.
That has grown it, whatever. Has grown it is the person that is going to be entering it. So if you enter, you had to have grown it. You can only do one entry each time. Pumpkin that won prizes in any other way off competition are not eligible, so you can't like hop around the country with your pumpkin. You remember that? It's like that guy that kept going to all the Wendy's and kept getting all the $1 deals or whatever. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
In the event of a tie, prize money will be distributed equally. Decisions made by the judges are final. All these pretty boring. Pumpkins must be healthy, undamaged, free of rot, holes and cracks through the cavity, chemical residue, and soft spots. So that's why that guy got disqualified. Goes against that one. This is the craziest rule to me. To be classified as a pumpkin, specimen must be 75% yellow/orange in color. All others will be classified as squash, which I don't think that's how that works.
What? Yeah, we'd have to get
Squash is just a totally different thing from pumpkins.
We'd have to get a botanist in here to explain it. I mean, that's probably
We need Hedgepath.
That's kind of like the whole vegetable versus fruit debate, you know?
I'm guessing they must have like a chart to determine 75% because that's really specific. I'd just be like, if it's more orange, then boom. I know squash are different, but now they got me second guessing now that I've looked at the official rules of the pumpkin weigh-in at Half Moon Bay. Any
I'm looking. Yeah. No, they look like they're different. They look like they're different plants.
They definitely are, but why is it considered a squash and not just disqualified?
I don't know.
Do you think like the
Is it like a-
species
is it like a
of
joke?
giant pumpkin is more closely related to actually squash, maybe? Is that what it is?
Atlantic giant pumpkin
Is it like
is an orange fruit of the squash
Oh, that's what it is then.
Cucurbita maxima. Yep.
Okay, that's what it is then. We figured it out.
I think it might be a square rectangle thing. I think all pumpkins might be squashes.
Huh? But they're different on the inside.
Maybe.
I've never seen someone carve a squash-a-lantern.
The first jack-o'-lantern was a radish, so or a turnip.
Interesting. Well, you have a point there. Yeah, that's really all the big rules. All the other ones y'all really don't really care about. All pumpkins must be weighed in without the use of tarps or other carrying devices. So nothing really that crazy. Just the squash one was the real one that interested me.
Now have you ever heard of the Windsor Pumpkin Regatta?
I have not.
Now the Windsor Pumpkin Regatta is an annual water race
In a pumpkin?
held in October on Lake Pessaquid in Windsor, Nova Scotia, half a mile long. The race features giant pumpkins as the sole means of flotation.
It's just crazy.
Canada.
I didn't know pumpkins had such a hardy culture around them.
So if you at home or in the studio would like to look up the Windsor Pumpkin Regatta, you'll see many images of grown men sitting in pumpkins as if they were a canoe paddling across a lake.
They look pretty poignant. I'll say it.
Is Canada or is it Chicago that has the giant duck, like the giant rubber duck? Like it's just massive.
We saw one in New Orleans or Baton Rouge.
How big was it?
It was pretty big.
Not as big as the one you're talking about.
I think it's Canada.
The giant rubber duck.
No, it was Chicago because it was in the water, wasn't it?
The giant rubber duck is in Maine.
What?
Yeah. It's in Belfast, Maine.
Interesting.
A giant rubber duck mysteriously disappeared from a harbor in Maine, and residents are rightfully heartbroken. What happened to our duck?
There's so many crazy things that happen on a daily basis we don't hear about.
That's right. So yeah, looking at these pictures of the Windsor Pumpkin Regatta, it looks like a lot of fun.
It does look like
It does
fun.
look a little dangerous.
It looks like it'd be cold. That's a big rubber duck.
That is a giant rubber duck. There's like multiple sizes of this giant duck too.
Interesting.
Dude, the allergies with this weather change have definitely been getting a lot of people.
It got all the worms too. There's a ton of worms on the sidewalk.
I have not noticed that.
It got me yesterday, JP. I thought I was gonna drop dead on the couch.
It got me last night, dude. It really hit me. Like I want to go get some ice cream last night from Brewster's. It's the first time I've been there, and when I got back, I was like,
Brewster's is nice.
What just happened? Yeah, it was super cheap too. I got a waffle cone. I haven't had a waffle cone in years. It was so good. Oh my god.
Brewster's is up there for my favorite ice cream place in Auburn.
What'd you get in the waffle cone?
Cookie dough ice cream.
Good choice.
A lot of dough.
Can never go wrong with that.
A lot of cookie dough in there. And
Okay,
that's
fair
the
enough.
best whenever they put a lot in there. But if I could combine 2 ice cream flavors to make my ultimate ice cream, it would be cookie dough and Oreo.
That already exists. It's called Cookie Two-Step.
Yeah, but it's not the same. Cookie
What?
Two-Step, I don't think it tastes that great.
Cookie Two-Step's awesome.
It's not bad, but
I mean,
I'd rather have Ben and Jerry's.
If Ben and Jerry's made a Cookie Two-Step, it'd be heavenly.
Oh, it'd
but
be top tier.
I'll slum it with Bluebell. Bluebell's good in its own right, but Ben and Jerry's is better.
I'll be honest, ever since that whole thing happened with Bluebell, like a couple years ago. where
The
they
E.
take
coli
away-
thing?
Yeah. I mean, their ice cream's still good now, but I can't see it the same.
That's your prerogative.
Tarnished.
That's
in the
your
eyes of
The
prerogative.
reputation has been tarnished.
That's understandable. Ben and Jerry's still has a strong reputation, ice cream wise.
For right now.
You
never know with ice cream.
That's
well,
true.
Davis, you and your milk drinking, of course.
What's wrong? Jack drinks milk too. Why am I the only one singled out about it? That's all I'm saying.
I'm not vocal about it.
Yeah. What? Whatever.
What's the difference between half baked and cookie dough?
Half baked's more
got,
than cookie dough. It has like
fudge and brownies.
Yeah, it
in
has like brownies
and chocolate ice cream.
It's very good.
It's like one of the best ice cream flavors in existence.
I had Americano Dream, which has also been in Jerry's.
Americone? The one with Stephen Colbert on it?
Yes. I thought it was Americano. Yeah, but it has waffle cones in it.
Americana. There's drive-by trucker songs on the container.
It had waffle cones in it. It had like kind of like salted caramel. It was really good. It was very good. Recommend.
All right. Rec of the day.
Ice cream chat.
Moon and Americone Dream.
There's a lot of moon talk today. Everything has moon in it.
Yeah.
Moon Scar Island.
How about that?
The moon stance. Sorry, Tsushima reference. I can't help it, bro. No, that's the one where he holds it like way over
That's the
his head.
cool one. That's the one where you get the dudes with the spears.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
that's the wind stance.
We are going to head to a quick
I don't
break,
remember.
and when we
That's
come
the one where he
back,
kicks,
there's
though.
plenty to get to still on Compact Discourse, including the NBA season tipping off in the past few days. So we got to talk about that, since given the two people we got hanging out in the studio with us. So we'll be right back with some more Compact Discourse in about 2 minutes to close out the show with you. We got 15 more minutes, so don't go anywhere.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
There are 250 miles of trails in Alabama state parks. That's 250 miles for you to hike, bike, and explore. And it's something we want to share with future generations. Help us improve these trails by becoming a partner in the Alabama State Parks Trail Program. to learn more about the importance of outdoor recreation and how you can help with the development and management of this new trail program. Visit alapark.com or call 800-ALAPARK. Sponsored by the Alabama State Parks, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Check out my new time machine.
Does it work?
Hit the button.
Hey, it's Napoleon.
Oui. Check out the future.
Hey, you have a nice house. Why don't I?
You didn't save any money, buddy.
If only there was a way I could go back in time and fix that.
Yeah.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad.
How can we make Alabama a more beautiful state? By keeping our roads, highways, schools, and communities litter-free. It doesn't take much, but to think before you act. So what does the next generation say?
Pick it up, man.
Take pride in your school. Did you just litter? Clean it up, dude.
How can you make a difference? Adopt a mile. Join the Alabama Clean Campus program or join in the Spring Cleanup or Alabama Coastal Cleanup. And remember,
Don't drop it on Alabama.
This message by People Against a Littered State, the ABA, ALDOT, and this station.
WEGL Auburn.
Hold up, little buddy, what is you doing? Finna go hard, hard, hard. Ice on my neck, ice on my wrist. That for the squad.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Davis Carroll and DJP. Welcoming you into this final segment of the Wednesday edition here of Compact Discourse. I want to remind you that Auburn Stages is coming up tomorrow on the campus green space at 5 p.m. If you want to check that one out, audiophile, special guest Pacemaker on the campus green. Music is going to start at 5 p.m. That is an alt-rock band with a hip-hop opener, both from Birmingham. So get excited about that one. Dylan's putting together yet another edition of Auburn Stages right here as a presentation of WEGL. That's going to be on the campus green, 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. And we are very excited for that. All right. Speaking of things we are very excited about, I know I got two NBA fans in here with me this morning, and NBA season kicked off last night with the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks raising the title banner and routing the Brooklyn Nets, former ABA team, I might add, and the Golden State Warriors taking down the Los Angeles Lakers. So the past two defending champs in action on opening night. Milwaukee gets the win, and L.A. takes the L as the Lakers fall short to the Golden State Warriors 121-114 as Steph Curry notches a triple-double in the season opener for the Dubs. Opening thoughts on the season so far?
Is it still considered being a bandwagoner if you like the Lakers? I mean, not the Lakers, the Warriors now.
Depends on when you hopped on, really.
Depends on why you're a fan.
Yeah.
Well, okay, the Warriors were one of the first NBA teams I ever watched whenever I first started getting into basketball. Well, because, I've always liked basketball, but I never became a fan of the NBA until 2015, during the playoffs. That's kind of when I first started watching, and that was the first matchup of the Warriors-Cavs. So I just kind of went with the Warriors that season. So I guess that kind of is a bandwagon thing right there. I love Steph Curry. I love Klay Thompson. I just kind of like what the Warriors, I just kind of like what they do. So, I mean, I'm not like a diehard Warriors fan by any means, but I would not be opposed to getting an Oakland Steph Curry jersey, like those blue ones they had last season. Those were so clean.
I will say there could be an argument made for you. Let's say you hop onto a team when they're good, but then you stay with them through when they're bad, and you actively watch them and you learn their history. I feel like maybe at that point you're not really a bandwagon anymore. You're just a fan.
Yeah.
That hopped on at a...
Yeah, I mean, I started being a Panthers fan the season they were good in 2013.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider myself a bandwagon.
Well, yeah, you stuck through thick and thin with the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Even though they were having a great season when I jumped on.
Boom.
So,
I think there's an argument to be made there.
Yeah, I mean, I became a Knicks fan. I'm still a Knicks fan. I mean, it's a difficult team to be a fan of, but ever since Kristaps
That's
got
such a
drafted
silly
there.
name, silly goofy name.
Kristaps?
No, the Knicks.
I don't really know what it means, but I think
the
it's
Knickerbockers, his pants. You're named after pants.
I guess. I mean,
It's
Madison
the
Square
goofiest name
Garden
in
would be
basketball.
cool.
Besides the Mets, which is baseball, the Metropolitans.
It's about the Mets, baby.
I think another really cool name, though, is the Pistons. Detroit Pistons. I think that's just really cool for Motor
That is
City.
cool. And speaking of the Pistons, we will jump into who's in action tonight. The Pacers of Indiana will be taking on Chris Tobias' Charlotte Hornets tonight at 6 p.m. Chicago at Detroit, 6 p.m. as well. Washington at Toronto. Cleveland at Memphis. Houston at Minnesota. Philadelphia at New Orleans. The Magic will be at the Spurs. OKC at the Jazz. Sacramento at Portland. And then if you want to watch some games on TV, the Celtics will be at the Knicks in Madison Square Garden on ESPN. And the Nuggets will be in Phoenix taking on the Suns at 9 p.m. on ESPN. So that is your watch schedule for tonight. And then tomorrow, the Mavs will be taking on the Hawks on TNT at 6:30. Milwaukee will be at the Heat. And then the Clippers will be playing the Golden State Warriors at 9 p.m. on TNT. And that is your NBA schedule to start off the season.
I'm pretty excited about this. The NBA's social media is really good, very well done. They captured a lot of great moments, so I'm excited for that. League Fits. Do you follow League Fits?
I don't, but I should.
You would love League Fits. That and like BR Kicks. I love seeing the
follow
shoe
BR
game.
Kicks.
Love seeing what everyone's wearing to the game. Just because these players have like a lot of money to spend, a lot of whatever they want to wear, and some of them wear like certain things for certain platforms, like Chris Paul supporting HBCUs, other people that'll do it for charities. And I think it's just a great way to advocate for an organization or something without even having to speak. All you have to do is wear it, and then they're going to get their tunnel photo.
And they're going to get Halloween costumes soon for all the players.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting. And the one that everyone always talks about is always LeBron's outfit. I don't know what he's going to wear. I don't really care, but I'm excited to see.
I could see him wearing his Toon Squad thing for Halloween. It's going to be the Space Jam. I bet he'll do that.
Do y'all have – well, y'all were talking about going to Party City.
We do not care.
Is that Mike Tomlin? I forget. Yeah, that's the Steelers.
I need to go to Spirit of Halloween to get a costume.
I have no clue what I'm going to be. Jack, do you have any idea?
I think you could come with us to Spirit and just spin the big wheel of costumes.
Friday. I got a friend of mine coming in town, but if he's not in town at that time.
It only takes 30 minutes to get to Columbus.
Yeah, he could probably roll with us.
Yeah. Boom.
All right.
Might have to.
Fellas, roll up. All right. Speaking of fits for players, I know we're going to jump back to baseball for a second, but I think we'd be remiss if we did not talk about Tony Gonsolin and his cat cleats that he
those were crazy.
that he's been wearing.
Are they cat?
They are cat cleats.
Is it his cats?
There is no doubt, this is coming from sportingnews.com, there is no doubt on which side of the cats versus dogs debate Tony Gonsolin falls. The Dodgers right-hander has taken his love of feline friends to a whole new level. During his relief outing on Saturday against the Braves in Game 1 of the NLCS, Gonsolin was spotted wearing cat-themed cleats. The cleats featured pictures of cats and furry laces.
Crazy.
So, yeah, if you just search cat cleats, I don't think anything else will come up because that's a crazy combination of words. Back in 2019, Gonsolin began to wear cat shirts in spring training every Saturday. According to Oklahoma City Dodgers beat writer Brian Brown, Saturday for Gonsolin has been known as Catterday.
Look at him starting a trend.
So, of course, with the Dodgers starting the NLCS on Catterday, he had to bust out the cleats. This is not the first time he's worn the cleats. He wore them against the Padres on September 30th. That was a Thursday. That was not a Catterday. So, if you want to check these out, these are Mizuno cleats. They are Dodger blue and white. It looks like the left cleat has black cat fur and the right cleat has brown cat fur, and there's pictures of cats on them, and it's really weird, and I don't like them.
I'm not a fan.
Do they catch fines for wearing stuff like that?
No.
Okay.
As long as it stays within the rules. There's no rules against having cat hair on anything.
Yeah, you can't have baseballs on your shoes, but I think this is well within the rules.
Well, I guess we can use this the Fit Talk transition to talk about the Atelier or Atelier. I don't know how to say it. Atelier. My bad.
It means store.
All right.
Oh, so it's like Panera Bread.
Yeah.
So do you think they're moving to a new location? Or
That is my
happening?
working theory that they're gonna go brick and mortar to get their own standalone place.
I wouldn't be surprising. I mean, they get good business.
I figured they get good business, but I'm not sure. Well, I didn't know if it was good enough that they'd want to open their own store and then have to work with the rent and stuff at their own instead of splitting. I assume they split it with Alley Glass.
Is Alley Glass still there?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So is Atelier shuttered for right now?
Yes. If you go on their Instagram, they just posted a very sad photo of like empty hangars and it says closed until further notice.
Yeah, but apparently if you're an athlete or a
regular customer.
Yeah, regular
which
customer.
I think I am.
You can make an appointment with the owner to get your drip at probably his house or
Yeah.
something like that, or her house.
I used to
I'm
go
not sure
like
who the owner is.
It's a guy. It's the same guy that did does the one in Huntsville.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine they're just getting a new location. But
Yeah,
another thing I want to mention, I want to pay my respects to Greg Bradshaw, owner of, well, I guess former owner now, of Mellow Mushroom and Taquerita. I mean, I'm a big Taquerita guy. So this is just kind of, it's just like, it's sad. But, these things tend to happen sometimes. Not sometimes. It's the unanimous ending that everyone has to experience at one point or another. But just wanted to pay my respects to Greg Bradshaw for running 2 fine establishments, 2 very well-loved restaurants in Auburn, Alabama. I might have to go get Taquerita either tonight or tomorrow, just for the sake of Greg.
Hit my line if you make that decision, please.
Yes, sir. Can do.
Also, a new spot for Davis. Espositos.
Shout
out to Owen.
Yeah, shout out Owen, man. I don't know if he's tuned in, but I'll have to tell him that we gave him a shout out. Owen's a big WEGL guy. He listens to us a good bit.
It was magnificent. It was really good. I had some chicken Alfredo. Went pretty basic. But, that's kind of like my baseline place for any Italian place. If they can get that really good, then they're good.
Yeah, I worked there for like a week during the summer just doing dishes because I was really looking to find a job and just make some money.
This I did not know.
You're crazy, JP.
I worked there for like 1 week before I found
I love your vagabond lifestyle.
And the kitchen crew there is so cool. Like they have like a really cool little community in the back there. Just the way they all talk to each other and communicate, it was just really awesome. I hate that I had to leave, but there's something to me about standing on my feet washing dishes for not the best wage. And I mean there were other opportunities. So I'm sorry to anyone who works there that I had to leave y'all so fast. But they told me because I was like, I feel bad, but like, what's the shortest amount of time anyone's ever worked here washing dishes? And one of the chefs told me there was a girl who walked in, looked at the sink, said, nah, never showed up again.
Well, at least you beat her. You want to give us a preview of Woodstock, and then we'll get out of here for today?
Ooh, okay. So before I get into Woodstock, I'll talk about the morning show. So we're just going to have 2 hours of music. I'm going to be working on some stuff in here, so I'm not going to be talking between every song. But I've got a good bit of music ready for y'all this morning. And tonight, I'm doing a split playlist with a guest. I have a guest on Woodstock Hour. I don't think he's going to be on the microphone a whole lot. I'm going to give him the option. But, some students, they're not exactly prepared to talk on the mic. Because, whenever you give someone the microphone, you are giving them a lot of power. If you really think about that, especially at, like, DJ events. Like, if someone just walks up with the microphone like, hey, say something. You have no idea what's going to come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
But
this just in, Davis supports animal cruelty.
Case in point.
Yeah, case in point.
Should have never given Will the reverb mic.
That was one of the funniest moments.
That was pretty funny.
That I've seen.
I'll admit.
All right, so we're looking forward to everything we got coming up on WEGL today, including one more hour at 5, Happy Days with Jay at 6, Woodstock Hour at 7, and Cheetah Print coming up at 8, including DJP on the mic coming on right after Compact Discourse ends here in a few seconds. So keep that dial right here on WEGL 91.1. all day long. We got great stuff for you. All right, thank you so much for listening to this exciting episode of Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM, however you joined us today, whether that be from your radio antenna, WEGL, WEGLFM.com, or by listening to our podcast. We would like to remind you that all of our previous episodes are available as a podcast, commercial-free, wherever podcasts are heard. Just search for Compact Discourse. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at CDiscAU, that's at CDISCAU, for links to the podcast, information about the show, and important updates, including if the show's canceled like it was yesterday. You can also tweet at us to get your voice on the show and join the conversation. We are, of course, Auburn's only student-run morning show. You might want to go ahead and follow WEGL on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at WEGL_AU. Our dedicated team of marketing professionals is working tirelessly to provide you with high-quality content for fans of the station. And with that, for Jack Hart, Davis Carroll, and DJP, this has been another exciting episode of Compact Discourse. We will talk at you tomorrow for the week finale, Thursday, 8 a.m. As always, this is Jack Hart signing off. Go 1-0, War Eagle, and have a great rest of your day.
And a ghost will follow you home.
If you're a single man under the age of 35, you'd probably like to know what the ladies are looking for on an online dating site. A guy who had a few drinks and later got pulled over for buzzed driving. See, that could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rate.